Let me ask you something. When someone tells you that they are a trader, what's the first question that comes to your mind? For most people, it is, what do you trade? And honestly, the question confuses a lot of beginners because you'll hear different answers from different people. Some say they trade Indian market, some say they trade Forex, some US stocks, and some even say it's crypto. And you're sitting there and thinking, wait, are these all different things? Yes, they are. In this 3-part series, I'm going to break down each one for you in very simple words. Just what is it, how does it work, and how do you get started? Today, we're going to start with domestic markets. Before we get into that, one line of context. Market is simply a place where assets are bought and sold. Different markets have different assets. And broadly, as an Indian trader, you'll have 3 markets to choose from: domestic, Forex, and crypto. The part 2 and part 3 of this video will cover Forex and crypto. Now let's focus into domestic. So what exactly is domestic or national market? It's a market where the main assets are companies from that particular country. In India, think of Reliance, Tata Steel, Infosys, HDFC Bank, and in US, think of Apple, Google, Tesla, or Amazon. Now, these company shares are called as stocks or equities. When you buy a stock, you're not just buying a number on any screen. You're buying a small piece of that company. Now, the domestic markets not only let you trade stocks, you can also trade bonds, commodities like gold or silver, and one of the most actively traded segments, which are derivatives. That means futures and options. When it comes to trading styles, you can do intraday, swing, positional, all of it are available in the domestic market. Now in India, we have 2 major stock exchanges, that is NSE, National Stock Exchange, and BSE, which stands for Bombay Stock Exchange. BSE is actually one of the oldest exchanges in India, but NSE is newer and more powerful, and most of the trading volume today happens in NSE. Now you have definitely heard the word called Nifty and Sensex. Let me tell you what exactly those are. Nifty is an index that tracks the top 50 companies on NSE, and Sensex is an index that tracks top 30 companies on BSE. Think of them as a report card for the overall market. If Nifty is up, it means top 50 companies are doing pretty well. If Nifty is down, the sentiment is negative. That's it, don't overcomplicate it. One more important thing about domestic markets, they are not open 24 hours. They run on a fixed window each day. Indian markets are open from 9:15 a.m. to 3:40 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday. US markets have their own time zones, which means if you're in India, US markets open around 7 p.m. on our time and closes around 1:30 midnight. Now, I mentioned about US stock in the intro. So can Indians actually invest in US markets? Yes, you can. Apps like IntMoney and Vested allows you to directly invest in US markets. And recently, the SEBI has allowed certain brokers to allow their clients to invest in US market through Gift City. So that's going to be an interesting turn which is going to be coming in the market soon. Okay, so how do you actually get started in domestic markets? All you need is a Demat account. Now what is a Demat account or dematerialized account? Think of it like a bank account, but instead of holding money, it holds your investments. Your stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, futures and options, all of it lives inside that. To open one, all you need is 3 things: Aadhaar card, PAN card, and a bank account. That's it. The whole process is now online and maybe takes around 15 minutes. We recommend First Stock as a broker. One thing to remember here is your Demat account gets linked to your bank account during setup, and you can only deposit or withdraw to that same account, which makes it very secure. This is probably the most Googled beginner question out there. How much money do I need to start with? For stocks, honestly, you can start as little as 500 rupees. Some stocks are even priced at 100 and some are at 50 and even lower. But when it comes to futures and options, it's a different story. F&O requires margin money, and depending on index or stock, you're typically looking at anywhere from 50,000 rupees to few lakhs just to get started. So if you're a beginner, start with stocks, get comfortable, and then explore F&O. Here is something that nobody tells you when you are starting out. Trading has its cost. Now there are mainly 2 types of trades. First one is delivery trades, and the second one is F&O and intraday trades. Let's start with delivery. Delivery means you're actually owning the asset. like a stock, an ETF, gold, whatever it is. You are not just trading it for a day, you are basically holding it or taking ownership. And the good news is, delivery brokerage is typically zero with most of the brokers. That means if you're buying and holding stock or ETF, you are not paying anything to the broker per trade. Now, when it comes to F&O and intraday trading, it is totally different. The standard brokerage here is 20 rupees per order. Now, what does that mean? Whether you buy 100 quantities of Nifty options or 1000 quantities in a single order, the brokerage is flat 20 rupees. It doesn't change based on the quantity, but keep in mind that there is a cap on the maximum quantity allowed per order. And that cap varies depending on the broker and the instrument. Now, on top of the brokerage, there is something known as STT, Securities Transaction Tax. Now, this is collected by the government for every single trade. And when you make profit, there is tax. Short-term gain tax are different from long-term gains. I'm not going deep into this today, but I want you to know it exists. Because a lot of beginners calculate their profit and get shocked when they actually see the number after charges. We'll cover this in full details in a separate video. Now here's something that gives a lot of anxiety to people. What if my broker shuts down? Fair question. Now here's the truth. When you buy a stock, it's actually not stored with your broker. Your stocks are actually stored with either CDSL or NSDL, which are two government regulated depositories. Your broker is just a front end or an interface or an intermediary. So even if your broker closes tomorrow, your stocks are completely safe. You can even log in directly to CDSL or NSDL to see your holdings across all the brokers that you use. And the best part is, you can even transfer stock from one broker to another anytime you want. The only thing that carries some risk is if you keep some cash inside the broker. So don't keep large amount of idle cash in your broker account. Keep it that in your bank. Move it only when you require. So that's domestic markets. What you can trade, how to get started, and how your investment stays protected. In the next video, we're going to move to Forex, that is foreign exchange market. What is it, how it works, and what Indians need to know before even touching it. So do subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you on the next one.